The question is simple, but the answer is surprisingly complicated. If China has nearly 30 million more single men than women, then why are men suddenly disappearing from the blind date market? What is really happening behind the scenes, and why are fewer and fewer men willing to attend matchmaking events? In today's video, we'll go through the narrator's explanation step by step. Keep in mind that these are the narrator's opinions and analysis, not necessarily established facts. So, with that said, let's get started. According to the narrator, China's marriage registrations have fallen to one of the lowest levels in decades. Although the number of marriages increased slightly in 2025 compared with 2024, the overall trend has not changed. Marriage registrations are still much lower than they used to be, and the marriage market continues to struggle. Years ago, the situation was completely different. Men competed with one another just to get a chance to attend blind date events. These matchmaking events were always crowded with men hoping to find a life partner. But today, according to the narrator, everything has changed. At some large matchmaking events in Hangzhou, something almost unbelievable has happened. Women now pay an entrance fee to attend, while men are invited for free. Organizers even offer free drinks, free tickets, and other benefits just to attract male participants. But despite all these incentives, very few men actually show up. Even when some men do attend, many of them leave early after making excuses, without showing much interest in staying. This raises an important question. If China really has nearly 30 million more single men than women, then where have all these men gone? Why have they become so difficult to find in the blind date market? The narrator explains that the answer becomes clearer when we look back about 10 years. More than a decade ago, women were considered the most desirable participants in the matchmaking market. A woman with a stable job was seen as an ideal marriage partner. If she worked as a doctor, a teacher, or for a government institution, she received countless marriage proposals. Because there were more men than women, men's expectations were relatively simple. Most men did not pay much attention to a woman's financial background or how much money her family had. As long as she was willing to build a family together, that was often enough. At that time, the responsibility of buying a house, purchasing a car, paying for the wedding, and supporting the family usually fell on the man. Women were generally expected to manage the household and raise the children. Whether people agree with that model or not, the narrator says this was the commonly accepted expectation in society during that period. Marriage itself was viewed as an important milestone in life. Most people believed that getting married, building a family, and raising children was simply the natural path into adulthood. Because of this, blind date events became places where men competed to win the attention of women. However, according to the narrator, this balance completely changed around 2024. The narrator claims that not only did marriage registrations reach their lowest point, but this was also the year when many men started questioning the traditional responsibilities expected of them. Reports from several dating platforms, according to the narrator, show that women now make up more than 60% of active users, while in many first-tier cities that number is close to 70%. It almost feels, the narrator says, as though millions of single men disappeared overnight. Fewer men attend offline matchmaking events. Fewer visit matchmaking parks. And many refuse to participate even when the events are completely free. As a result, even women who are well-educated, financially stable, and successful in their careers are finding it more difficult to meet suitable partners. So this brings us to the biggest question of the video. Why are so many men choosing to stay away from the marriage market? According to the narrator, the first reason is that marriage has gradually become more like a financial transaction than an emotional partnership. And this is where the discussion becomes even more interesting. As the narrator continues explaining the situation, he says that many young men have started looking at marriage very differently than they did in the past. According to the narrator, getting married today is no longer just about finding someone you love. Many young men feel that before they can even think about marriage, they must already own a house, have a car, earn a high income, and be financially secure. Because of these expectations, many ordinary men feel they simply cannot compete. The narrator also believes that social media has made these expectations even higher. Every day people see videos showing luxury lifestyles, expensive weddings, and perfect relationships. Over time, this creates the idea that a successful marriage must come with wealth and a comfortable lifestyle. The narrator claims that because of this, a man in his 30s earning around 10,000 yuan a month may still be considered unsuccessful by some people. At the same time, expectations for a future husband continue to rise. Some people openly say they want someone who earns 500,000 yuan a year, owns a house, owns a car, has no debt, and comes from a financially stable family. Whether these expectations represent everyone or not, the narrator says that many ordinary men feel they are being judged more by their income than by their personality or character. Instead of feeling encouraged to enter the marriage market, they begin to lose confidence and quietly step away from it. The narrator then turns to the influence of the internet and modern media. He argues that many online discussions promote the idea that expensive gifts are proof of love and that a man who cannot spend a lot of money is somehow less worthy of marriage. Festivals and special occasions are increasingly linked with expensive spending, making relationships feel more costly than ever before. As this way of thinking spreads, many young men begin asking themselves whether marriage is worth such a heavy financial commitment. Instead of spending years saving for a wedding, they choose to invest that money in themselves. Some travel the world, some focus on fitness, others build businesses or learn new skills. According to the narrator, many of them discover that they are happier living this way.